If time was needed for distance, with absence has made the heart grow fonder. The marvel of music, socially engineered on purpose, so there would be no comparison, no thoughts to ponder. The world is riddled with riddles. Billions of people trying to figure out life. It's pitiful. Enter our world. This podcast, this journey, the second phase of an analogy. This is a prelude for the story of Season 4. The Doneson Podcast. You better tell somebody.
Donesonians, the freedom of creativity has arrived. Let's take this journey from the US to Brazil, through India onto Europe, from Asia onto the transatlantic and throughout the world. We'll call it the dark side. The Doneson Podcast is in full effect. Watch it, feel it, listen to Shanna Montana, Uncle Rico, Rod, and Rollo. Let's put it where the goats can get
This is how I feel. Only God knows where this is going. We are on the heels of something so important. This podcast has many seasons, but it won't be the last. I'm listening to the Doneson Podcast. I said I'm listening to the Doneson Podcast. Oh yeah, it's a Doneson Podcast. Oh yeah.
You know, Jerry listens to the show every weekend too. He gets on the show next year.
Who?
Jerry.
Oh,
You know, the guy that's been my cousin.
yeah, Van Twittercus.
Yeah. Gonna see Jerry next year on Juneteenth.
All right.
Season 5, baby. Join us.
All right.
Now, Jerry says, Rod, he didn't get the results that he wanted the last 2 episodes. So he says, Rod, you gotta deliver the damn thing, baby. Deliver it like a baby. So here I am. What did the horse say after it tripped?
What did he say?
Help! I'm falling and I can't get
You
up.
know what? And I can't giddy up. Okay.
I figured he was gonna say some crap like that. Oh Lord.
Don't forget to tune in every Monday for the audio version of the Doneson Podcast and every Wednesday on our YouTube channel titled The Doneson Podcast.
I can't giddy up. Can't get it up or can't get it up.
Either one. Either one.
It's time for Rent Due in the City.
All right now.
Rent due in the city. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but today.
But today, get my money.
My money. Hey, come on.
Rent is due. And if you don't have my money, I'm going to send a Negro named Core to come get in your shit.
He will
Mr.
get my
Edwin
money.
Evick, our voicemail system is down right now, so I'll be reading the messages from the tenants. Moss Point, Mississippi. Apartment number 44. I've been calling to have my apartment sprayed for bugs going on a week now, and no one has come out.
Because you keep bringing them
Apartment
in.
number 44, you are really bugging the shit out of me right now. We have over 500 apartment units at the location you reside, and it's only going to take time. Take out the trash and clean up. Maybe you and they will disappear.
Portsmouth, Virginia. Apartment number 103. I have to say I've only been here for only 3 months, and I really love it here. The staff is great and my neighbors are friendly.
Well, good. I hope this continues. And just in case you get any ideas with flattering me, rent is due on the 1st.
Dayton, Ohio. Edwin Evick, apartment number 444. I've called several times about a leaky faucet. Can I get someone out here ASAP?
Oh, go fuck off.
It's time for the Doneson Riddle Show.
It's the Doneson Riddle Show. You have 60 seconds to solve the riddle, which is an ample amount of time. If you answer wrong, a dummy's getting electrocuted. And here's your host, Rod.
Oh, for some reason, Rollo didn't slip me a note. Maybe he likes getting.
He likes it.
Yeah, he likes it. All right, this is the riddle. Here we go. You got 60 seconds to solve this. What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
Huh?
They both don't wear underwear.
Alexander the
Great.
Say it again, baby.
All right, listen very closely. What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
Neither one of them was great.
They have the same middle name.
Thank you, dog. Good job.
I guess we'll let old boy over there make it this week.
Yeah, this week.
I was trying to fry it. I love it.
Lord.
You got away this time, boy.
Down Rollo. Montana, I get it.
Montana, here they go again. Another letter? This is what they wrote. A little oh yeah, a little oh no, and
That
a
sound
lot
like that TSU
you got a
marching band
big
in the
head of
back,
me. Montana is crazy.
Here we go.
Even though I'm feeling sad, it's only one day. I turn into you. It makes one day. I'm watching you YouTube on a Wednesday, listening this letter so funny. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, so here we go again.
Where we going?
This week, y'all sent another nasty ass letter up here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you've been sending these letters.
I think so. I think it's
I promise that me.
all the letters. Let me tell y'all something for the
What
last time. All the
me?
letters was out of line, and we don't have the TIME for that. So
It wasn't me.
next
I promise.
week, y'all better get it right.
It
I
wasn't
promise
me.
y'all better get it right.
It
But we
wasn't
gonna
me.
give it. We gonna do. I think y'all wanted to get in my business one more time. Because I feel like they wanted this Montana's Pandora box one more
let's do
game.
it. I
They want
love
it
it.
back.
So yeah, we gonna do it one more time. But next week, y'all better get it together.
Let's get in the box.
Okay. All right. So y'all get to determine what is just, on my mind or maybe something that's bothering me, been wanting to talk about. So
I
I'm
got
gonna
it
give y'all.
right last time.
All right. I'm gonna give y'all 3 choices this time.
Okay.
So number A, friends not being good friends. B, family and breaking generational curses. Or C, social media being too much in 2022.
I'm going with B.
I'm going with B too, huh? Family being generational curse.
Family and breaking generational curses. Okay, so I think this is important to talk about just during this time of year because
We got it right?
yeah, y'all got it right.
Oh, damn. All right.
Y'all did. Y'all got it right. Because I think right now this is a time of year where family and friends are getting together. And the thing about it is when it comes to family and generational curses, I'll say this. One, when you and your family are getting together for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, everybody is coming from different spaces and places in the world. And what I mean by that is like you may be in a fruitful season of your life. Somebody else may be going through hell. And you don't know that when you come around because, family don't always tell what's going on with them. Everybody
Right.
come around and you eating, you drinking, you having a good time. But you know how family is. Sometimes they say little stuff or, make little comments or,
all day long.
cross little lines. And we come from, a lot of times our culture, people tend to just think that's okay.
Right.
But what I think when it comes down to breaking generational curses, a lot of times when you hear that, people primarily are talking about breaking curses when it comes to like wealth and making money and the dynamics of the family.
Right.
But what
Or
I
trouble.
want, or trouble, yep.
Yeah.
Or they talk about, us growing up, don't get pregnant, go to college, be the first one to get married, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you have these stereotypical things that typically are associated with generational curses. But what's been on my mind and what I want people to think about is, one, as we go into this, as we're in this holiday season and you're going to be around different people, just handle your family with care because you don't know what space people are in. And when it really comes down to breaking generational curses, it depends on how you are treating your family members for them to even care about the curses that you are wanting to break. Wow. So if you are, say, a parent and you feel like you want to break some financial generational curses, but every time you get around your kids, y'all into it, you treat them like shit, then they not going to care nothing about that wealth you're trying to build. They won't want it because you treated them bad. Right. Or the other side of it is, if every time you come around, y'all know y'all got family members that's been beefing since the 80s.
Right.
So every time y'all come around, y'all into it. Y'all make it uncomfortable for everybody around y'all. Y'all are the generational curse. But then when you step to the side, you will quickly say like, yeah, your sister or your cousin, they always causing trouble. No, you causing trouble too. And a lot of times, you the ringleader, but people don't a lot of times think of it that way. And I'm like, we have to really, it's so many curses that we can break. But I think the first area that it starts in is how we are choosing to treat one another, show up for one another, and care for one another, and just being more mindful that we, meaning like I would say millennials, we are not our parents. We are not boomers and they are not their parents. So we are one of the first few generations that we show up in spaces and we gonna tell you how to treat us. You're not gonna be disrespectful. We're not gonna just go along to get along. If anything, we'll just leave. We're not gonna be disrespectful, but we no longer are where I think our parents growing up, you just did whatever your mama said, no matter how you got treated, you just went along with it. And that's why sometimes I would say boomers or parents of that age, sometimes they still walking around with so much hate in their heart because they wasn't able to get it out and they just went through that their whole life. But it's like now it's 2022 going on 23. We're in a different place in life. And I think that everybody has to understand that. So I'm big on that. I love my family. I love family, period. I love to see people, friends and family, because if they your real friends, they family too.
Right.
And I just want everybody to start handling everybody with care. Forget what you've seen on social media about, leaving people to the wayside or just treating people however you want to. No, we don't need to operate in that space because life is too short. So break the curses. Don't be the curse. Love on your family while they're here because everybody ain't wake up today.
And
What you
that's
said.
excellent, Montana.
What you said.
And where can we hear the rest of this at?
You can hear more of my business on if you go to Instagram, you can DM me at Shanna Montana, or on YouTube, you can message me on there and
what's the name
I
of
will
that
share
channel?
more. It is the Shanna Montana channel.
Okay, excellent. And I am a subscriber and I watch.
Thank you.
I watched the last night.
I appreciate it.
All right. So
you want too graphic for your family?
I mean, well,
Hey.
if they can take this show.
Oh, yes, it's true. Yeah, okay. You got a point.
You're Disney compared to
okay,
what we're doing this show. All right, so we're going on the journey of keeping power, right?
All right.
But I really want y'all to be open and honest on this episode.
Okay.
All right, listen to this.
Do you think the issue with cops is a black-white thing or a police?
Without question.
Or a police abusing power thing?
It's both. Remember, when slavery ends in 1865, there are no national incarceration systems. Most states didn't even have a fully functioning prison system. Guess when they created the prison system? In 1865. That's when they gave you the first statewide prison systems. Why? Because we got 4 million black folks we just left out of slavery. They don't have jobs. We're not going to give them any, so that means they got to do what to eat, Envy? Rob and steal. So we're going to create vagrancy laws. If I catch you stealing anything, guess what? That's a felony. I'm going to put you on the chain gang, and you're going to be on the chain gang for 10 years for stealing a lollipop. This is what they did. You could go to jail for not having a job. You could go to jail for being homeless. They made simple, petty offenses major felonies. So from the beginning of so-called emancipation, the prison system existed for one reason: to remove black men from the society. The jail is a slave ship that sits on land instead of water. But here's the point I need y'all to get. The reason we're struggling so much as a people is because we're not given systematic access to wealth. Let me give you an example. Chinese, Arab, East Indian, they come to America. They can walk into any bank and get a loan. Not all of them, but many of them. In fact, some of them don't even have to get a loan from Wells Fargo, Chase Manhattan, or Bank of America. And I'm just using them
Their family
to
gonna
make
take
a point.
care.
They show up in America with a long line of credit from their native country. They come into the ghetto, open up 10 stores, 5 supermarkets, 3 hotels. Black folks still struggling. And then people look at us and say, you know why you're struggling? Because you're lazy. The Chinese guy over here been here 5 years. The East Indian been here 10 years. The Arab only been here 8 years. He got 5 gas stations. What's your excuse? Let me tell you what our excuse is. We are systematically denied access to wealth. Do you understand? So we can't build that hospital they built. We can open up 10 supermarkets. I can't get 10 gas stations in 3 weeks because you're going to routinely deny me access to wealth. You'll give me a small business loan. And here's the kicker. Let me ask you a question. Why would they give you a loan for a student loan for college? They'll give you a car loan for the car. They'll give you a loan for your house. So you can get a mortgage loan. You can get a student loan. You can get a car loan.
Oh, they keep
but you can't get a business loan. Wait a minute now. The education is going to cost me $100,000. The car is going to be about $70,000. The house is going to be $250,000. Why do you approve that, but you don't approve the business loan, which is probably for half the amount? Because if I finance your empowerment, that disrupts my system of extermination and genocide. You cannot kill a people who you are financially empowering. So we are kept without access to wealth. That's why the hood is full of mom and pop stores. That's why the hood is full of struggling businesses, because America has a policy where you do not empower black people for their own benefit. Any other minority? Yes. Why? Because if they get out of hand, they can be sent home. The black man cannot be sent home. Slavery is older than America. America was born on July 4th, 1776. Slavery in the colonies began on August the 20th, 1619.
Dr. Umar. What you have to say about that?
Man, I just experienced it.
Slavery?
No. On a serious note, on how demographics take care of their demographic, and we don't. It was a situation that I just experienced. I ain't gonna get too specific, but this person came up missing. It's for a different demographic than us. And they're trying to find this individual. So matter of fact, they called me. This is no lie. They called me. So what can we do? I said, we try to hire you a private investigator. So they hired a private investigator. I said, how you gonna pay for it? Don't worry about it. So guess what they did? They went back to their demographic and said, we need $100,000 to pay this private investigator to find this loved one.
Right.
Demographic produced that money. To go find their loved one.
Right.
From overseas, the money came.
Whoa.
This is no lie. I experienced this just 2 weeks ago. Will we do that? No, because we too selfish. The African American in the United States are selfish individuals who only care about self. This is why we don't grow. Other demographics that come to the United States, and you see it all over the country, how they pop up and they produce and they grow because they take care of each other. We're the only demographic that won't do that. We refuse to do that. We want to be in charge or running something or call ourselves running something. Ain't running nothing. Other demographics come all over the world, come to the United States, and they up and popping and running and booming. Why is that?
Montana, you want
Why is that?
chime in on why you think it's...
I know why it is.
Why?
Why you think?
Because we are so embedded and selfish on ourselves.
Yeah.
We're greedy instead of wanting to produce and help each other.
No sense of community.
Yeah,
I think, of course, Dr. Umar got it all right.
Yeah.
It's just eye-opening when you sit here and listen to it. But on the other side of that, I can definitely say, you see other races and people that, that do the hair stores, do the corner stores, do the grocery stores, whatever, and they stick together. They figure it out. With us, we do gatekeep. Somebody gets on, I always say,
we hate it.
Yeah, it's no such thing to me as an oversaturated market. It's room for everybody to do it. That's the same way you have a million Walmarts on different corners. Why people sell different hair, different nails, whatever, it's room for everybody, but we get information and we don't like to share it for different reasons. I think that's another part of it.
We hate on ourselves.
We don't support and we don't have a sense. It goes back to that sense of community. We don't have it.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Yeah,
not enough of it.
Yeah, yes.
Now, that being said, now this episode is called, again, Keeping Power. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, one of the reasons how you keep power, exclusion, right?
Yeah.
The outcome of social exclusion is that affected individuals or communities are prevented from participating fully in the economic, social, and political life of the society in which they live. This may result in resistance in the form of demonstrations, protests, or lobbying for the excluded people. Now, I did a little research on South Africa. Still segregated. 80.2% to be exact, of South Africa is black. 72% of farm and agriculture land is still held by white people, and only 4% is held by black people. First, let's look at the most senior level, the top managers, right? Although black South Africans make up 80% of the economically active population, they hold only just 14% of top management jobs. In comparison, 67% of those top positions are held by white employees, a figure which has declined slightly in the last 3 years. Now, white people make up 9% of the economically active population, according to the Equity Commission. India, South Africa, Africans are 2.8% of the economically active population and hold 9% of the top management jobs. Take a listen to this.
This strip in Cape Town, South Africa, divides the beachside community of Strand from the township of Nomzamo. They're only a few meters apart, but the people on each side live very different lives. Strand has backyards and driveways. Nomzamo is much more dense, and the people here have fewer basic services. Less piped water, less internet access, and Nomzamo is majority black, while the area across the line is majority white. If we use dots on a map to represent race, you can see how stark that divide is. If we zoom out to the whole city, we can see it's actually everywhere. And this is the case across much of South Africa. The color of your skin here often determines where you live. It also determines your quality of life. This map shows where jobs and opportunities are primarily concentrated in Cape Town. And this is where most of the city's black people live, in informal settlements called townships on the city's periphery.
People have to move by public transport for up to 3 hours a day, and they can't take care of their obligations in the community with the rest of the family because they're always working and they're always traveling.
For decades, South Africa was under apartheid, a system that wrote segregation into law. A white minority controlled where non-white people could live, work, exist. Many were forced out of their homes. In 1994, a democratically elected government took power and ended apartheid. It was supposed to be a new beginning. But a lot of the country still looks like this. And that's because South Africa's legacy of racial division goes back centuries.
Now, you ever heard of the term house Negroes?
Come on, man.
All right. Now, Montana, you didn't say nothing. Okay.
You've been trying to get canceled all episode, every episode.
Let's bring it on. In many households, treatments of slaves varied with the slave's skin color. Darker skinned slaves worked in the fields, while lighter-skinned house servants had
they worked in the house, man.
Right, better clothing, food, and housing, referred to as house Negroes.
And we still got that mentality today.
All right, and they had a higher status and standard of living than a field slave or field Negroes who worked outdoors. Listen to this.
To understand this, you have to go back to what young brother here referred to as the house Negro and the field Negro. Back during slavery, there was two kinds of slaves.
Malcolm X.
There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food, what he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro say, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick.
We sick.
He identified himself with his master more than his master identified with himself. And if you came to the house Negro and said, let's run away, let's escape, let's separate, that house Negro would look at you and say, man, you crazy. What you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this? That was that house Negro. In those days, he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today because we still got...
All right. Now, listen closely to the show. And this is a question to each of y'all. And I'm going to say it and I'm going to pick a person to answer it. Now, to go first. Has anyone been excluded from any one of these categories? And it doesn't have to be race. It could be anything, right? Because we're talking about power still.
Okay.
Has anybody, and pick one, has anybody ever been excluded for, well, pick which category you want to roll with. Have you been excluded from groups or opportunities with jobs or from family? Which one would you like to go with?
Opportunity with jobs.
Jobs. And why would you say you have been excluded with opportunities with jobs?
Because of my background.
And could you elaborate, please, if you feel comfortable?
Well, you know, it's like, man, those who in power who making the decisions can look upon you as less than. Not looking at you as your intellect. They're looking at skin tone. And I see that throughout America. It's not intellect or your intelligence that you bring, it's your skin tone. And it's a sad situation that we're in because we're all human beings. We're all, man, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we're all one family, man. And we got to learn how to get along to survive. Or not, we're going to tear each other apart.
Yeah.
We're going to destroy this world. And I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at how the world is operating and the way it's going right now with the politics and the political situation. Man, it's like, man, we're trying to create another civil war in this country, man. It's crazy. It's like, hey, man, come on, man. Let's use our intellect. Let's lose some intelligence now. Damn your skin tone. What's going to help us all survive? And we're not looking at it like that. It's the world. It's not looking at it like that right now, man. And it's scary. It's very scary right now. And I'm saying, man, where are we going? Where are we heading? Because it ain't based on your intellect no more. It's based on your skin tone.
And I'm going to come back to that.
Yeah.
Montana, could you pick one, please?
The choices are?
Again, the choices, definitely good question. The choices are, or have you ever been excluded from, pick one, I mean, groups, job opportunities, or family? And could you elaborate if you have to choose one and then elaborate on?
If I had to choose,
be careful
one,
now.
I know. If I had to choose one, I would probably say maybe job opportunities, but wasn't directly aware. I mean, I haven't had any direct discrimination in any of those categories. Let's be clear. Not with family, not with friends, not with jobs directly. But if I had to guess, like maybe earlier on when I was newer in my career, I feel like, that might have come about, but I don't have any direct examples that I could give.
I can.
Maybe I need to keep on living.
I can get some direct.
But yeah, I haven't
Hey,
firsthand knowledge.
It's like I graduated in 1976 high school, and heading too far came from out of what they called it segregation area. Right. When I was first in school, I was in an all black school. Wasn't no whites nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
When I was in elementary school,
right,
and then I went through the integration portion of it. Hey man, and it's like, hey, I experienced it. I lived it, and I understand it. And at the end of the day, it was about skin tone. It wasn't about my intelligence or what I knew or what I could do. It was I didn't have the right skin tone. And when I graduated in high school in 1976, Craddock High School, Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm gonna call it out. All the guys was going into the shipyard. So I was born in what they call a naval town, Norfolk, Virginia, Virginia Beach, all that area. That's naval city.
Right.
They were getting jobs in the shipyard. And I was going all over the shipyard trying to apply for a job, and they were denying me. They wouldn't let me in.
Wow.
That's why I went into the military. Because I could not get a job. When I graduated from high school, all my white colleagues, they graduated from high school. Same high school I graduated. They were getting jobs, federal government jobs on the shipyard. They wouldn't give me one.
Wow.
They pretty much forced me into the military. That's the only way I could get a job.
Right.
So I signed up for the Army. I went in the Army.
Right.
So I experienced it. I understand it. I see it. Look, I lived it. I watched it. And I experienced it. And all my guys said, "Boy, you get no job. I got a job." And these white buddies, I played high school football with them, basketball with them in high school.
Right.
They getting the jobs, but I couldn't get one. Why is that? I mean, we all just graduated from high school. They getting the jobs. But every time I go to the same place they telling me they went to, I go to, I get denied.
I didn't know
and
that.
then they had that big sign on all the cities, Uncle Sam wants you.
But you.
Yeah.
Right. Man, wow. I didn't know that.
That's why I went in the Army. It wasn't because I really wanted to go into the Army.
Yeah.
I couldn't get no job as I graduated.
Well.
Shit, bringing up old wounds. It really is. I mean, hey, man. Crazy.
Thank you for tuning in to the Doneson podcast.
The Doneson, it's a Doneson podcast.